Welcome back to Resistance Chicks. We're your hosts, Leah and Michelle. It is May 30th, 2017, and we want to take you to an episode of what we would like to call Creepville.
It's very creepy, I believe.
Super creepy.
And this is a psyop.
It's a psyop
on people's minds.
Yes.
This is mind control at its finest. Otherwise, this man just cray-cray.
He did a little bit cray-cray.
Okay, so you may have heard that a alt-right Trump supporter went up to two Muslim women and started to rant, and two men went to protect them, and he stabbed the two men to death.
That might be the story that you heard.
That is like when you play telephone and we say, I heard a story, and then you pass it on, you pass it on. By the time it gets around to the end, it is never the same.
Right.
So I want to take you to the source and tell you exactly what happened.
I mean, this is devastating them. What do you make, though, as I asked you earlier, about the plans for riots a month from now? I think they're backing off open calls for violence a month out because suddenly the guns have stopped. They're saying don't call for violence because they want plausible deniability in 1 month when their operatives start burning down cities.
Yeah, well, it turned out even that Portland, terrible person in Portland, he was a left-winger running a psyop against the right wing, and we actually exposed that before it could even happen.
That's right. Explain that. It's now come out that he was a Democrat and a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah, so when it happened, I was covering the story, and I got a phone call when I was doing a live stream, and a guy goes, no, we were at the rally. We called the police on him. They reported him, by they I mean that the Patriots, the Trump supporters, reported him to the Portland police, but the Portland police thought that that guy was going to hurt them. So he thought he was going to hurt Trump supporters, so they didn't act on it. And that was what happened. The Portland murder was preventable, but because of these stand-down orders that all these liberal police departments have, they didn't act on that tip that they received. So this Portland train suspect guy, he stabbed two people. I consider him a terrorist. He tried to pretend that he was a patriot, but when you went back through his social media, he said he hates Jews, he hates Christians, and he was a left-wing operative. And then people who, I had sources who sent me the screen caps, he admitted that he was running a psyop because somebody buttered up to him and said, oh, hey, I noticed that you're with these Trump people. Let's frame them. And he goes, oh, yeah, I'm running a psyop on the Trump people, and I want to frame them to make the Trump people look evil.
And that's why they're having to drop the story now, and you broke that again.
Okay, so his name is Jeremy Joseph Christian.
Unfortunate.
He was accused of fatally stabbing two people.
We're so creeped out. It's like a ghost story, right? Like
in a hate crime against Muslims in Portland on Friday. The media quickly and still brands him an alt-right Trump supporter. It ain't true, okay?
But the reality is far stranger.
And I do want to pay homage to the people who gave her life. So we do try to bring things funny, but it is serious because two people died.
Yes.
But roll with us, okay? Because this is really weird. Christian is accused of stabbing three men, two fatally, on a train in Portland on Friday after they tried to stop him from shouting anti-Muslim hate speech at two young women. One was a Muslim, one wasn't a Muslim. Let's get that fact straight, okay? Local reports of the 35-year-old suspect described him as a known white supremacist. The Portland Mercury and Portland-based Willamette Week published pictures of Christian attending the right-wing March for Free Speech. This is where it's get creepy because I was hearing, who's that whistleblower of the Clintons? I can't remember his name, but he was saying that they're going to start staging events where it looks like Trump supporters are doing something,
right?
And it's not Trump supporters. This man, I'm just going to tell you right, I'll spoil it. He wasn't a Trump supporter. He actually voted for Sanders, Bernie Sanders. Okay, so
and that's unfortunate as well.
Exactly, but let's roll with me. Here we go. So, but everybody's pushing him as this Trump's crazy, because of Trump's Muslims talk. This is happening. This is not true. This is not
some
true.
Twitter users, like the liberal conspiracy theorist RVA Work, even forwarded a theory that Jeremy Christian was radicalized by the alt-right.
Writing for the Willamette Week, Corey Pine said he interviewed Christian during the march, and the alleged killer chanted the N-word and threw Nazi salutes. Pine writes that amid Christian's rants about Jews on Facebook, he expressed support for Bernie Sanders and Jill Stein for president. The Willamette Week writer describes that as a distraction others will seize upon as they contradict the narrative of Christian as a real white supremacist. While Pine says the organizers of the march disavowed association with Christian following the murders, it's worth noting that they did a lot more than that. The marchers kicked him out
of the march
last month. Video footage shows a mixed race group of marchers calling on police to remove him. Now watch this with me, folks.
Don't touch me. Don't touch me. I gotta know him. Hey. Threatened with a throat slash by a faceless animal.
No, he came with a bat. You came with a bat.
You better watch your mouth.
I'm fucking here, man. I'm right here.
You back to wait for me already. You back to wait for me already. You wouldn't touch me.
So you've got the Trump people literally kicking him out, right?
Get my way.
And then he complains that he's the one that gets escorted out.
Don't talk to me. This is my town. This is my land.
There's another video here that it says, or let me read the tweet. So a racist guy came in dropping the N-word. Folks at the free speech rally say he's not with the free speech. Okay. Trump people saying he's not with them. He's standing there with like 15 cops standing around him so he doesn't get beat up.
Now these tweets are from that day of the rally.
Right.
They're not from right now.
Now listen.
No, we don't want that.
He was over there saying the N-word and all that stuff, and girls like, no,
We don't
want that.
Anyone else is fucking with him, get the fuck out.
And anyone else who's with him, get the out of here. We don't stand for that. I mean, seriously, I know these. Well, I know these Trump people. They do not stand for racism.
No,
they really don't. Seriously, you guys. In Facebook replies dated May 10th, the alleged killer admitted that he attended the free speech march to portray both the faceless Antifas and the redneck hillbillies, pretending they ain't racist, as equally in opposition to free speech. In other words, he attended the rally to make both sides look bad.
Right.
In short, Christian is a deranged nihilist who just wants to watch the world burn. Jeremy Christian says, it's called a psych op, Tom.
This is him.
Bye, Felicia. Now go, blah, blah, blah. He also says, it does not matter. I will stomp out the whole movement like that night was just a warm-up. Rip City is my city. He goes, you know why I was the hardest free speecher to attend, Tom? I was the only one threatened with being arrested for riot, and I did not even throw a punch. For mere free speech is all I need to destroy a fake free speech speecher. Oh, I see. It was all a genius elaborate plan with that objective exactly, to portray all of the demonstrators as goose-stepping Nazi saluting crazy people. You got it. Everyone was against true free speech but me. I pulled all the group's covers, fascist, faceless, Antifas, and redneck hillbillies pretending they ain't racist, blah, blah, blah. It's very clear that Jeremy Christian is a bad actor. His alleged murders of 2 Portland heroes, they are heroes. Talesian, I'm not going to
Namkai Meshi,
a young man who put his compassion for others ahead of his own, and Rick Best, an Army veteran and a dedicated public servant, require justice.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The third victim, 21-year-old Micah Fletcher, is reportedly he's alive.
And here's why it is very important that we bring this to you, and why we call him out, because if the narrative that is being woven, the false narrative that is being woven to utilize this perp to slam Trump supporters as he represents them, it takes these victims and throws them under the bus.
So his Facebook page, which was still accessible at the time this article, features a bizarre collection of viewpoints expressing both support for Nazis and Jews, as well as against them. While fervently anti-Antifa in recent months, Christian's actual politics over the span of a year are difficult to parse with his posts. They appear confused. So he's doing this on purpose, right? Or something is making him do it. The voice is in his head. Maybe he's on drugs.
I don't know.
I don't know. but they can be explained with further insight. Over the past year, Christian's Facebook statuses included his hatred for Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump and support for Bernie Sanders and Black Lives Matter. You want to read that?
This is what he said. He said, I've had it with Hillary. She shut down Black Lives Matter activists, and now Benghazi Bill has a vet escorted out. Guess what you get in NOPO for that bill? I'm going to beat your BITCH, homie. KO, period. Hillary steps foot in my hometown. It's on site.
And goes on to say, I'm going to, yeah. So, and then he goes on to be like, anybody who wants to truly debate me, blah, blah, blah. And so, in addition to liking a variety of news websites and favorite bands, Christian's profile reveals a startling number of likes for nihilist pages, psychedelic drugs, Bernie Sanders, besides one like for Breitbart
Go
News.
back up, though, to one of his tweets. I was declared sane in federal court, Judge Anna Brown, in 2013. Okay? So, here's the thing.
Oh, he's a convicted criminal.
If you've got to be declared sane, there's a problem right there.
He spent 7 years in prison already.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no pro-Trump, alt-right, or white national conservative groups in his likes. And further, there's other articles where he is actually a convicted criminal. One time he got shot in the face by police for robbery. And so, like, he's been in prison. And this guy is not sane. We don't know where he's at mentally, but obviously
he surely does not represent.
He doesn't represent
side.
Bernie. He doesn't represent Trump. He represents crazies.
Yes.
And so this is not one of these. Every time I talk about Muslims, I hear somebody come out and say, "Yeah, but people on the right are crazy too. Conservatives are crazy too. Alt-right does crazy things too." No, I haven't seen them. Timothy McVeigh was his own. There are people who are their own.
Well, there's a whole conspiracy theory there.
Well,
too.
yeah, but what I mean is that he wasn't like a part of a Christian group.
Right.
To go out doing something like this.
Exactly.
You know, so anyways.
And this guy doesn't even know where he is at on the political spectrum. He's
You
just
don't have a
using
right to
politics.
vote. He's a criminal.
He's using politics to further his insanity.
Right.
All right. This is Leah Michelle signing off for Resistance Chicks, where it's not a conspiracy theory if it's the truth. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Mass Faith 3 and Resistance Chicks. Ring the bell for notifications. Find us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. We love you. God loves you. God bless. And please don't forget, we will be going to the Red Pill Expo June 23rd and 24th, and we want to see you guys there.
The reason, I don't know if I explained, the reason why I call this a psyop isn't necessarily because somebody made him do this, which is very possible. But the psyop is the news headline.
The narrative that gets twisted.
That
all of a sudden there's
now
this alt-right,
everybody
radicalized.
It's horrible journalism. Heat Street had to do this journalism.
Yeah.
Wall Street, Washington Post, New York Times. It was all, this guy's a right-wing Trump supporter. He was at the free speech. How many people do you think aren't going to show up to some of these rallies and pretend to be?
Right.
You know?
And I love how when somebody throws out the phrase white supremacist, it's already assumed that they're a Trump supporter, which makes zero sense, and there is no foundation for it.
White supremacists are doing things.
Guess what? There really are white supremacists. And why is that surprising?
Right.
There's black supremacists. There's all kinds of supremacists. There's crazy people.
We're going to call all black supremacists and Democrats?
No. All right. God bless, guys.
Call